Namaskaram to the next session on Kṣetrāṭanam. So yesterday we saw the different rituals. We also looked at the various aspects of the temple. So today we look at the other important aspect of the temple, which are the utsavams or the festivals. The main festival that happens in most of the Vishnu temples is that of Ekadashi. Actually, in the Puranas itself, Ekadashi is considered to be very important for Vishnu, for the deity Vishnu. Like different tithis, starting right from, after an Amavasya or a Paurnima, you will have the tithis numbered from 1 to 14. Pratama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti onwards up to Chaturdashi, and then you will have the Amavasya or Paurnima. So each of these tithis have a specific relationship with certain deities. Ekadashi is very auspicious, considered auspicious for Hari or Vishnu. So in the Puranas, you find different verses, some of which I have highlighted here. Ekadashyat niraharo bhuktva cha eva apare ahani bhukshyeham pundarikaksha sharanam me bhava achyuta. So nirahara, to have no food, to be nirahara, having no food on the day of Ekadashi, and continuously meditating on pundarikaksha, surrendering yourself to that achyuta, is said to bring in great auspiciousness, is said to bring in great merit. Ekadashyam Vishnu Puja Karya Sarvopakarini Dhanavan Putravan Loke Vishnu Loke Mahiyate. What do you get by doing that? By doing Vishnu Puja and by doing the different vratas on the Ekadashi and remaining without food. Dhanavan, Putravan, Vishnu Loke Mahiyate, you reach the loka of Vishnu. So these are the different phalas mentioned in the Puranas and the aspects. Even from a very practical perspective also, if you look at having one day. So Ekadashi occurs 2 times in a month, in the Shukla Paksham and in the Krishna Paksham, both the fortnights of the waning and the waxing of the moon. One day in 15 days where you refrain from eating, you're giving a sort of rest to your entire stomach, to the entire body, to rejuvenate itself, to recoup itself, to recover itself from the continuous feeding and other things that you have been doing through the other 14 days. So it gives one day to recover completely. So that has also been stated by many modern day scholars as also a reason for the Ekadashi Vratam. But Ekadashi is considered to be extremely auspicious and holy for Vishnu, and Dwadashi typically where you feed. After the Ekadashi Vratam, remaining without food, Dwadashi, you typically feed. The holy men, Brahmins and other people are fed on the Dwadashi day. Now coming to Guruvāyūr. Specifically the Ekadashi, so there are, as I said, there are 2 Ekadashis that happen every month. The Mrigashirsha Ekadashi, the Shukla Paksha Mrigashirsha Ekadashi in the month of Mrigashirsha is called as Mokshada Ekadashi, something that gives moksha, Mokshada, something that gives moksha. And this is the Guruvāyūr Ekadashi that is typically celebrated. You have Ashāda Ekadashi, which is famous for Vithala in Pandharpur, Vaikunta Ekadashi, which is famous for Ranganatha and Sri Rangam, and generally for all Vishnu temples, Vaikunta Ekadashi is very sacred. This Mokshada Ekadashi is very special for Guruvāyūr. Also, the other reason is there are 2-3 reasons that are connected with this. One is the Gita Jayanti. The Gitopadesham is said to have been done by Krishna to Arjuna on this day. That is why this day is also celebrated as the Gita Jayanti day or the Gitopadesham day. And the Lord here is a representative of Krishna. He is the resemblance of Krishna. He is an aspect of Krishna because Krishna, which is what we saw in the earlier session. So this is also an incident related with Krishna of the transmission of the Bhagavad Gita from Krishna to Arjuna. Hence also this Ekadashi could have been very closely related with Guruvāyūr. And the other important aspect is we saw earlier that Adi Shankaracharya was responsible for the codification of the rituals in this temple. It is said that he arrived in Guruvāyūr on this day of Ekadashi. On this Ekadashi, the Mokshada Ekadashi or the Mrigashirsha Ekadashi is when Acharya arrives in Guruvāyūr. He stays in Bhajanam for 41 days and he codifies also the different rituals. So also to mark the significance of that, of the Acharya coming to Guruvāyūr also, this Ekadashi is celebrated. So these are the different aspects. But this Guruvāyūr Ekadashi is considered to be extremely auspicious and holy in Guruvāyūr. It's one of the most popular festivals. So it is not just the Ekadashi. The celebrations begin close to a month before itself. And the most important days are the Navami Valakku, the Dashami Valakku, and the Ekadashi itself. The Navami, which is the 9th day, the 10th day, and the 11th day of the fortnight, which is the Ekadashi. So the temple actually remains open from the Nirmalya Darshanam of Dashami day, Nirmalya Darshanam onwards, until 9 a.m. of the Dwadashi day. So from 9 a.m. From the Nirmalya Darshanam of Dashami, the whole day of Dashami, it remains open. It doesn't close that day. All through the night, it opens. It remains open. The next day, Ekadashi, full day, it remains open. The next day, Dwadashi, on 9 a.m. is when it is shut. And then it is again reopened in the evening at around 4:30 p.m. And then the normal course of pujas and everything, they continue. So this is like an Akhanda Darshanam that the Lord gives on these 3 days. And there are a lot of festivals related to Ekadashi, that come related with the Ekadashi. The Chambai Sangeetotsavam comes very related to Ekadashi. We shall speak about Chambai Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar also. He was one of the greatest devotees of Lord Guruvāyūrappan, especially among the musicians, the Carnatic musicians. He was a great devotee of the Lord. And in his memory is when the Chambai Sangeetotsavam, earlier it used to be a like 2 to 3 day affair, but now it has got extended, and there are many musicians who participate, and this is conducted during the period of the Ekadashi celebrations itself. Now this is one main festival that happens in Guruvāyūr. The other is the Utsavam itself. Every temple, if you look at a temple, as we said, Utsavena, that is, every temple should have an Utsavam. So an Utsavam is a time period which is characterized typically, the duration could be different in different temples. Typically, it's a 9 to 10 day Utsavam in bigger temples. In smaller temples, it could be a much smaller affair. But the Utsavam, the main objective of the Utsavam is many rites, rituals are done during the period of the Utsavam, which will re-energize the idol, which will re-energize the surroundings of the Kshetram. Any impurities that have been assimilated by the energetic field within the temple or the idol, all these impurities will be removed. All the Shuddhi Kalasham and those kind of rites would be performed. Many devotees will participate. So a lot of bhakti, devotion at its peak is witnessed. And also the Lord will come to see his devotees. It is typically during these Utsavam days that you will find in most of the temples, the Lord will come out of the Garbhagraham, will come out of the temple, and he will visit. There will be a procession around Urvalam, where the Lord will visit the devotees. And there will be different kinds of vahanams, like in Tirupati you have the Brahmotsavam that happens. In Srirangam you have the Utsavam. So these Utsavam, the Lord comes out in different vahanams with different decorations to meet his subjects, to meet his children, to meet his devotees. So that is also a time when the people get to see the Lord outside, and he, as the Lord, as a king of the place, he gets to meet his subjects. Those people who don't come to the temple daily, he gets to meet them. So those different aspects are also there within the Utsavam. So Utsavam has got this multifaceted thing of a social coming together of all the subjects of the people of that land, celebration. So all these aspects are intertwined with the concept of an Utsavam. Now during the Utsava, especially in Guruvāyūr, that this 10-day Utsavam is celebrated, which is typically in the month of Kumbha, which is the February-March of the Gregorian calendar. And it starts on the Pushya Nakshatram, is when the Dwajarohanam happens. So Utsavam will always be characterized by a hoisting of the flag and bringing the flag down, the hoisting of the flag, the Arohanam and the Avarohanam of the Dwaja. This is also why the Dwajastamba is there, right? So you hoist the flag on the Dwaja, so everybody knows that the Utsavam has begun for this temple. That is why the Dwajastamba is also quite high, and the flag is raised till the top, so that everybody knows that the Utsavam has begun here. In Guruvāyūr, before the Utsavam begins, there is a Sahasra Kalasham. There is a ritual called a Sahasra Kalasham that is typically done in Guruvāyūr. Sahasra Kalasham is like thousands of pots. Silver pots are filled with water, and for many days together, different way, in a separate place, they are kept. They are worshipped with Vedic mantras, and they are so sanctified. The water becomes so sanctified and so sacred. And at the end of everything, at the end of this period of this Veda mantra japam and everything, all this water is poured on the Lord on one day for about 3 to 4 hours continuously. All the Sahasra Kalasham, the water from the Sahasra Kalashams are poured on the Lord. So it's in a way of transferring energy to the Vigraham. So Sahasra Kalasham is done in Guruvāyūr. So what you can see here is a picture on the right, where the different silver pots, you can see so many silver pots are placed. So this is more than 1,000 silver pots. You also have golden pots. So different kinds of pots are kept. The kumbhams are kept and filled with water and sanctified with Vedic mantras. Then the other aspect or other important feature of the Utsavam is the elephant race. So especially in Utsavams in Kerala, you will see this, that during the Utsavams, the Lord will be taken in procession. The procession will happen atop the elephant. Okay, so the Utsava Vigraha will be brought, and the Utsava Vigraha will be taken above and placed above the elephant, along with the male Shanti. The male Shanti will go along with the Utsava Vigraha, and he will sit on top of the elephant. And the Lord will go in procession on the elephant, and the elephant will be well caparisoned, well ornamented elephant. Now this, in smaller temples, maybe it is only one elephant. As the temple is bigger, you can have 3 or 5 or even odd number of elephants typically, but many number of elephants are typically there during the Utsavam time. So especially in Guruvāyūr, being a big temple, you will have 5 elephants typically during the Utsavam time. So it is a treat. It's a visual treat to watch, the 5 elephants, especially of those who have visited, who have seen the Trishur Puram. You'll have 15 elephants at a stretch. You have different other Purams also in Kerala, where there are even 30 elephants that stand at one stretch. It's such a visual treat to see 30 well caparisoned, with golden ornamentation on the front. This is 30 or 15 elephants standing in one stretch with such a beauty, on top of it with umbrellas and different kinds of paraphernalia, the chatram, chamaram and other things. It's beautiful to watch them. So it's a visual treat. So here there are 5 elephants that are typically used during the Utsavam. So the central elephant will carry the Lord, and the other 2 elephants on either side will act as a support to give that beauty to the whole thing. So that central elephant, who will be the central elephant, is always the question. So this is decided through the elephant race. So the elephants are allowed to run on the first day, and the one that completes a particular route and reaches and comes into the temple and touches the Dvajastambam the first, it has to come and touch the Dvajastambam. So one that does that first is regarded or is declared that this elephant will now be the main elephant for the Utsavam. For many, many years, the elephant Guruvāyūr Keshavan, it used to be the elephant which used to always win in this race. And it used to be the elephant that carried the Lord for as long as it was alive. It had carried the Lord. That is the greatness of that elephant, that it carried the Lord all through its life. So this is the elephant race that happens in Guruvāyūr, and also nowadays. And Guruvāyūr is among the very few temples that has a number of elephants under its administration. The way it happened is many people give elephants as offerings to the Lord. It's called the Nadai Iruttal. So they bring the elephant, and whatever be their desire or sorrow or whatever, so they say that I'll give this elephant, O Lord, to you. So like that, many, many, many elephants came to Krishna. They accrued to Guruvāyūrappan, and now they have stopped that offering from a very long period of time, because it's becoming beyond boundaries for them to even manage so many elephants. So they have built, if you visit Guruvāyūr, very close to the Guruvāyūr is a Punattur Kottai. This is an elephant sanctuary sort of thing, where they maintain all these elephants. It's a beautiful place. You must definitely visit that. And all these elephants are maintained there, and lot many elephants are under the Devaswam, Guruvāyūr Devaswam, and they are given, like for different kinds of festivals in different temples, all these elephants go and they perform the festivals. So there are many, many elephants there, and Guruvāyūr Keshavan was one among them. As long as it was alive, it used to be the one that carried the Lord. And as I said, the Dvajarohanam. So after all this, these all happen prior, and on the very first day of the Pushya Nakshatram, in the afternoon or evening, the Dwajarohanam happens, indicating the beginning of the event. So that's what you can see as a photograph here. The Dwajam is hoisted on the Dwajastamba. This is what I said, the carrying of the Lord. So this is called as the Tadambu. It's a very unique feature of Kerala. So it is a very beautifully created arch sort of a structure, and it is embellished, ornamented with all these golden flowers. And centrally, you will find the image of the deity, whoever is the deity. If it is a Devi, then you'll find the image of Devi. If it is Krishna, you'll find the image of Krishna. If it is Shiva, you'll find the image of Shiva, which is empaneled there. It is placed there, that the image of the deity, and the actual deity, that's Utsava Vigraham, is placed below. So this entire paraphernalia is only to give that beauty. When it stands atop the elephant is looking so tall. If you just place a small Utsava Vigraham on the top, it will not, the Lord won't be even seen. To a person looking from a distance, only the elephant will be seen. And a small Vigraham atop only will be seen along with the person. So to give that beauty, to give that elevation, to even the Lord is being seen. So for a person standing at a distance, he doesn't see the Utsava Vigraham necessarily. He only sees the Tadambu, which is shining, effulgent, and he sees the image of the Lord. So he worships that. And as you go closer, you will see the Utsava Vigraham. So the actual Lord is the Utsava Vigraham here. And this is the Utsava Vigraham, which is there in the Garbhagraham, which is brought out for the Utsavam and placed inside the Tadambu, and the Tadambu is kept on top of the elephant. So here what you see, this is how it looks. So you'll have the elephant who carries the Lord, the central elephant. It has got all this ornamentation. Okay, it's called as Pattam. It's called as Anapattam. So this Pattam has got this Chandrakala. There are different specific names, for all these ornamentations. There are very, very specific names that you have. So you have this Chandrakala here, you have the Trinetram of Lord Shiva. So different things represent different things. So this entire thing is beautifully created with different aspects of the well polished with gold. So they have this golden complexion, and the elephant is decorated such, and on top of that you have the Tadambu. So this Tadambu that you see on the left is what is placed on the Lord along with the Utsava Vigraham. Atop that is the umbrella, Chhatra Chamara. These are the upacharams that are done to the king, to the Lord. Chhatra Chamara. These are all the different upacharams, the luxuries of the king. So the Guruvāyūrappan is the king who is seated atop the elephant. So all these are given as upacharams with the Chatram, the Chamaram, all these things. And I'm telling you, it's a visual treat to watch all this, right in front of you. If you see so many elephants and with this kind of paraphernalia. So this is what is there. And of course, there are various other aspects, which I won't go into too many details right now. As you can see, it's a complete flood of golden light. As if you're in Swargaloka or in some heaven. It is all such effulgent kind of an experience you get when you are there. Continuing, during these days, this Utsava Vigraham is placed outside the Garbhagraham. It's a separate mandapa is created, what you can see here, and all the pujas and everything is done to the Utsava Vigraham there. All Deeparadhana and everything is done to the Utsava Vigraham during this period of the festival. So the 8th day, you have the ritual called as Utsava Bali. We saw this Shri Bali, Shri Bhuta Bali, which is done every day to satisfy the Dikpalas, the Parivara Devatas, and everybody who are there in the form of the Balikal or the Bali stone. Utsava Bali is a even more elaborate event. So not just to the mandatory Dikpalakas and mandatory deities. In Utsava Bali, many other deities are also invoked. Many other Parivara Devatas, many of the natural forces, many of the deities that protect different aspects of nature, they are all invoked and they are all worshipped. And they are all satisfied with different kinds of worships, different kinds of offerings. That is called as Utsava Bali. It's a much grander affair, much bigger affair than the Shri Bhuta Bali that happens daily within the temple. So Utsava Bali is also not done by all temples because it's a grand affair. It is very expensive affair. But this is done every year in Guruvāyūr during the Utsavam time. 8th day is a Utsava Bali. 9th day is a Palliveta. Palliveta is hunting. So if it's a king will go for a hunting, right? To protect his subjects from wild animals, to ensure that all wild animals are in check and they don't encroach upon the domestic areas or encroach upon the cities and towns. So that the Lord being the king of the place, he goes for Palliveta. And Kerala is anyway a forested land. So he goes for Palliveta. So there is like a very symbolic event where the Lord goes for hunting and he comes back. So that's a Palliveta that happens on the 9th day. 10th day is the Arat. Arat is a typical concluding festival or concluding event of the Utsavam. Aru means, in Tamil, Aru means river or a pond or a lake, nearby water body. Art means to take bath. So Arat means going to a nearby river, lake and taking bath. So the Lord, after the 10-day Utsavam, he's all tired and now he wants to take a very luxurious bath, very leisurely bath that he takes. That is called as the Arat. So the Lord is taken to the Rudra Tirtham and he is bathed there with different kinds of dravyams, with different pujas are done, and then he is brought back. And then the Dvaja Avarohanam happens. The flag is brought back, indicating the end of the Utsavam. So this is the main Utsavam that happens in Guruvāyūr. Then, of course, there are different other festivals which are celebrated in Guruvāyūr, which is Vishu, the beginning of the new year. Then the Kṣetrāṭanam and the entire month of Vaishakha, which is extolled greatly in the Puranas. So the entire month of Vaishakha is considered very auspicious for Vishnu. And Kṣetrāṭanam, which is celebrated as the birthday of Balarama, of Parashurama, multiple stories behind Kṣetrāṭanam, that is also celebrated in Guruvāyūr. Ashtami Rohini, of course, the birth of Krishna, Janmashtami, is celebrated in great pomp and splendor. The Mandala Kalam, Mandalam season of those 48 days where especially people go to Shabarimala after taking the vratas, they go through the path of Guruvāyūr. They go to Shabarimala visiting different temples. And Guruvāyūr is a very, very important spot on en route. So during that time also, during the Mandala Kalam also, special pujas are all done to the Lord. And all the devotees partake of that. So these are the different Utsavams, festivals that happen in Guruvāyūr. Now let's come to the Bhaktas. The foremost Bhakta, among the foremost Bhaktas of Guruvāyūrappan is definitely Melpattur Narayana Bhattadiri. See, actually, if you look at, and even if you speak, even I have spoken to some of my own family members or elderly members, even they have said that even 50 years before, if you go to Guruvāyūr, it was a much simpler affair because it was like any other normal temple, no big rush. You can, just like any other common Kerala temple that you would worship, you would have that much of leeway and luxury, leisurely nature to worship the temple. But today, you see where it has gone. One of the main reasons for that is also the popularity of the Lord, which has been spread especially through the Bhaktas and their works. This Narayaniyam, Srimad Narayaniyam, which is the magnum opus of Melpattur Narayana Bhattadiri, which is an offering, a devotional offering, an act of devotion of Narayana Bhattadiri to the Lord. It is veritably a medicine, and people have relied and people have found evidence and people have had extreme belief and faith in the recitation of this great magnum opus and the effects and benefits that it gives. That itself has actually led to a great amount of influx of bhaktas, influx of devotees in Guruvāyūr. Now, speaking of Melpattur Narayana Bhattadiri, so he lived around the 15th, 16th century. So, Melpattur Narayana Bhattadiri he belonged to a great family of great Vedic scholars. He learned different shastras from different scholars, and grammar he learned from one great Achyuta Pisharadi. So it is said that he was living a very erratic life, and Achyuta Pisharadi was the teacher who brought him back to the dharmic way of life, and he was the one who taught him grammar, Vyakarana. And after some time, Achyuta Pisharadi contracted with rheumatism, Vata Roga, what is called as Vata Rogam. So he contracted rheumatism, and Narayana Bhattadiri prayed to the Lord to cure his guru, his acharya, because he was so fond of the Guru, because it was the Guru who brought him back on the path of Dharma and back on the track, the Vedic Dharma, and leading a very righteous life. And he taught him Vyakarana also. So he wanted the Lord to relieve his Guru of the Vata Rogam, and he said that I will in turn do the Avahanam of the Rogam into myself. I will take up the Rogam. Please relieve my teacher of it. And it is said that the Rogam then was contracted by Melpattur Narayana Bhattadari. And on advice of different scholars and different Mahatmas of that time, they advised him to go to Guruvāyūr and stay there as bhajanam with the Lord and worship him, propitiate him, and he will be relieved of his misery. He also sent at that point of time a message to Kṣetrāṭanam, the famous writer and poet, the famous devotee of the Lord, Kṣetrāṭanam. So Kṣetrāṭanam is said to have suggested Narayana Bhattadari with composing the Bhagavatam, composing a version of the Srimad Bhagavatam as a devotional offering to the Lord. He, in fact, what he told as a message, he gave as a message to Narayana Bhattadari was, start with the fish. Start with the fish. So the people who read that message, at once they were shocked because, of course, Kṣetrāṭanam belonged to a different caste. Probably he ate fish. But Narayana Bhattadari was a Brahmin and they never ate fish. So start with fish means what? So is fish recommended as a medicine or a remedy for this kind of a cure? But Narayana Bhattadari understood start with the fish means start with the different avatars of the Lord, starting with the Matsya Avataram. So start with the different incarnations, which means rewrite the Bhagavatam, rewrite the glories of the Lord, which is enlisted in the Bhagavatam as an offering to the Lord. So that is when he started composing the Sriman Narayaniyam. And we earlier saw the place where Narayana Bhattadari used to sit in the Vadil Madam and compose one Dashakam every day. The Dashakam is a group of 10 verses. Some verses are also, some chapters are also even 11 verses. So 10 to 11 verses he composed every day in front of the Lord. And he used to give it as, he used to offer it to the Lord. Keep it at his feet. And in many of these stotras, you will always see, many of these Dashakams will always end with a prayer to the Lord that, oh Lord, please cure me of this disease, of this affliction. But as the Narayaniyam progresses, you will also see that this physical ailment, this request for curing of the physical ailment gets converted into request for curing of the mental and emotional ailment, and telling that, oh Lord, please give me your darshana. I want to get liberated from this world. So even the inner transformation of Narayana Bhattadari can be seen through the Narayaniyam, where he starts as a normal devotee, as a normal bhakta who goes to the Lord for various desires, for fulfillment of different desires, like the curing of a disease or wanting something very physical, very material. But from there, it starts progressing slowly to the ultimate. And that is why in the end, in the last Dashakam, he says, Agre Pashyami Tejo Nibidata Rakala Yavani Lobhaniyam Piyusha Plavitoham Tatanu Tatutare Divya Kaishoravesham Tarunyarambharmem Paramarasa Sukara Rasaswada Romanjitangaihi Avitam Naradadhyaihi Virasudupanishat Sundari Mandalaischa. Agre Pashyami Tejo Nibidata Rakala Yavali Lobhaniyam. Agre Pashyami, I am seeing in front of me that effulgent Lord. And he's describing that Lord who is surrounded by Narada, the Upanishads, the Vedas, everybody in the form of maidens. He's seeing that beautiful form of the Lord right in front of him. It is not the idol, it is not the Vigraham that he's seeing. He's having a darshanam, a vision of the Lord himself in the final chapter, in the final Dashakam of the Narayaniyam. So he reaches there, starting from a request to the Lord to cure his ailments, he reaches till here. That is the spiritual journey of Narayana Bhattadari and for every devotee. So this is kept as an offering to the Lord. For Narayaniyam, to explain Narayaniyam, you need many sessions only to explain the Narayaniyam. But it is said that the Lord's presence was continuously felt during the composition of the Narayaniyam, especially during the Narasimha Avataram. Bhattadari could not envision how that Avataram was. Of course, he has read the Bhagavatam, he knows what the Avataram is. But as a poet, he has to get inspired. That inspiration has to come from within, and that will get converted into words. So he was not getting that inspiration something had to inspire him, something had to give him that instigation, so something had to inspire him, something had to prod him. But he was not having that, he was not getting that. It is said that from one of the pillars in the Vadil Madam, the Lord came out as Narasimha. He gave the vision of Narasimha from one of the pillars to Bhattadari. And the moment he had that vision, he composed. Stambe ghattayato hiranyakashapo karnao samachurnayan. Stambe ghattayato. The very words you can see, Stambhe ghattayato. So he has used the heavy swaras. The aksharas that he has used are not the soft aksharas, are the more harsher aksharas are used to indicate the ferociousness of Narasimha. This is one instance where he sees the Lord. The other instance is in Ramavataram. In Ramavataram, when he has to tell that Mauli Ratnam Dadau, the Mauli Ratnam, Rama gives the Anguliyakam to Sita, and Sita gives back the Chudamani, the thing she wears in the hair. That Mauli Ratnam, when Hanuman gave it to Rama, so the verse was Mauli Ratnam Dadau. Hanuman gives it. Hanuman gave the Mauli Ratnam to, so it has to come, the accusative word has to come there. Mauli Ratnam Dadau Ramam. It has to come Mauli Ratnam Dadau Ramam. To Rama, the Mauli Ratnam was given. But the prosody of that, the meter, the metrical construction of that line did not allow for two aksharas to come there. Only one akshara could come. So again, Bhattadari was in a fix. How to fit in one aksharam there when the word is Rama? It was given to Rama. So Ramam has to come there. How can I fit? So it is said that the Lord himself stretched out his hand. Guruvāyūrappan stretched out his hand and said that it was given to me. So it becomes Mauli Ratnam Dadaute. Oh Guruvāyūrappa, Hanuman gave that Mauli Ratnam to you. So the Lord stands there at Rama as Rama himself. The other instance in Krishna Avataram, when Krishna breaks as a child, Krishna, he takes the mattu and he breaks the curd, the pot of curd. In Bhagavatam, Vyasa Maharshi has written that he took the grinding stone, which you grind, the grains and everything. Only the grinding stone was available. Or the Krishna took the grinding stone and he broke the curd pot. This is what Vyasa Maharshi writes in the Bhagavatam. But when Bhattadari wrote it, he wrote the churning rod, the mattu, with which you churn the buttermilk. With that rod, Krishna broke the pot of curd. But after he completed composition, when he relooked at it, he suddenly found the mistake. Vyasa Maharshi had written the grinding stone. How can I change it to mattu? It's very difficult. Because the reason Bhattadari wrote it is Krishna is a very small little child. How can Krishna, such a small child, lift such a heavy grinding stone? Impossible. So probably it is only the mattu that he would have lifted, because mattu is also very close by. The churning rod is quite close by to the curd pot. But then he realized that probably he should not have done that. It is then said that the Lord himself voiced as an Ashariri, as a voice he came and said that I broke the curd pot with both the churning rod as well as with the grinding stone. I accept that I broke with both of them. So such kind of instances you see during the composition of the Narayaniyam, which is indicative that the Narayaniyam is blessed by the Lord himself. So that is this great story of Narayana Bhattadari, who composed great scholarly works of grammar. Also, you will see there are many other works which of course needs a separate detailed session to enumerate it. So this great Bhakta and his work Narayaniyam has been one of the major factors which has spread the glory of the Lord, or through which the Lord has himself spread the glory, across the world. Now, another great Bhakta, and in the Narayaniyam itself, he begins in the very first shloka, Bhattadari says, Aspashtam drashtamatre punaha uru purushartatmakam brahmatattvam tattavad bhadi sakshad guru pavanapure hantabhagyam jananam. Just by seeing, O Lord, you just appear to be a vigraham, a stone idol. But that is not you. If I continuously keep on seeing you and thinking about you, I understand that you are nothing but that Brahman. You are that very Parabrahman itself that has come in the form of this Vigraham for the benefit of the people. Hantabhagyam Jananam, for the fortunate people of like us. For our sake, you have come down in Kuru Pavanapuri as a savior for all of us. The very Parabrahman has come down. Now, the next great Bhakta, Pundanam, is a very complete contradiction to Melpattur Narayana Bhattadari. Narayana Bhattadari was a great scholar. His works are scholarly. Pundanam was a very simple man. He was also a scholar in his own right. But most of his works are in Malayalam. He didn't know much of Sanskrit. He was not a scholar of Sanskrit to compose works in Sanskrit, but he used to compose in the colloquial Malayalam is what he used to compose. So, those days you always had this kind of a thing that if you did in Sanskrit, you will always be considered a much better scholar than in the local language. So, always, even especially the scholarly category used to consider Pundanam to be a lesser being, because of these. But his bhakti towards the Lord was beyond comparison. He had a child, and during the Annaprashanam of the child, because of untoward events, the child dies on the day of the Annaprashanam, which is typically, it happens about 6 months or some later after the birth. So the child dies. And in that extreme sorrow, Pundanam reaches out or comes to Guruvāyūr and stays bhajanam at Guruvāyūr for recovering the child, because he has also read the Bhagavatam and everything. He knows that the Lord has brought back people who are dead. If the grace of the Lord is there, it can be done. So keeping that in mind, he comes and sits as bhajanam in Guruvāyūr to recover his child. But slowly, during the time of the bhajanam, a great transformation happens in Pundanam, that the feeling or the wanting for the child gets replaced with the love for Guruvāyūrappan. Guruvāyūrappan takes the place of the child for Pundanam. He becomes a child for Pundanam, and he gives vision. He gives darshanam to Pundanam as a child. So Lord Guruvāyūrappan himself becomes a child of Pundanam. He becomes Unni Krishna. That is what you can see in this beautiful picture that is drawn, that the Lord is playing with Pundanam, in different forms. As Unni Krishna, he keeps playing with Pundanam. The Jnanapana of Pundanam is one of the most exquisite works. It is written in Malayalam, but those of you who can't understand Malayalam, you should read the translation. In such simple language, the greatest of the truths, the greatest philosophy is explained by Pundanam in Jnanapana. So between Pundanam and Bhattadari, there are interesting anecdotes where Pundanam is said to have given this Jnanapana to Bhattadari for corrections, because he had great respect for Bhattadari, especially after his composition of Narayaniyam and all. So Bhattadari is said to have not cared too much, because it's a Malayalam work. So he was not too much interested in reading the script and proofreading and other things. So he said to have said that it's okay. Whatever you have written should be okay, because it is written anyway in Malayalam. So he kind of scoffed. This one of Pundanam, it is then said that Lord appeared in the dream of Bhattadari and said that the bhakti of Pundanam is much more important to me. And it is said, the anecdote also says that the Lord came as a scholar or as a child or whatever to Bhattadari, and he asked him to read the Narayaniyam, the great work composed. So Belpattu Narayana Bhattadari, he reads the Narayaniyam. Then the Lord starts pointing out the different mistakes, grammatical mistakes in the Narayaniyam. He says, no, this shouldn't be this way, as per this sutra of Panini. After a point, Bhattadari realizes that he has not even moved. He's probably in verse number 1 or verse number 2, and there are so many mistakes that are found in even those 4 to 8 lines. So he asks the scholar, who are you? So the Lord then reveals himself and says that, Bhattadari, the bhakti of Pundanam is more important. If I want, I can find mistake even with your thing. Nothing is perfect. But the bhakti, the devotion of Pundanam is much more. What I see is devotion. I don't go by the scholarliness or the scholastic achievements of the person. It is then that Bhattadari realizes, and they became great friends, Pundanam and Bhattadari. So Jnanapana, as I said, he starts itself with a veneration to the Guru. He looks at Guruvāyūrappan as the Guru, and he submits himself completely to the feet of the Lord. The other great devotees who have been there during that time, before the others, so Narayana Bhattadari, Pundanam, Kururamma was an elderly woman to whom the Lord appeared as a child, and he used to be with Guru Rama all the time, always helping her with all the household chores, because of different social restriction and everything, because she had lost her husband also early in life. She was not allowed to move around very freely, so she used to be at most of the times confined to her household. But she was a great devotee of the Lord, and she used to surrender herself completely to the Lord. So the Lord himself came as a servant, as a attendant, as a support in her family, in her life, and remained all through her life as that. The greatness of Guru Rama was that she knew that essence of bhakti, Bhagavan Nama Bhakti, so much that typically, you have all these social customs that during your, the 3-day menstrual cycle of the women, you're not supposed to chant prayers and you're not supposed to do things. But Guru Rama used to always chant the Narayana Namam continuously, whatever be the day, it doesn't matter to her. So one day when she was chanting it, Vilvamangalam Swamiyar, who was one of the greatest saints of Kerala, he was passing by and he noticed this. So he knew that she was going through her 3-day cycle. So he tells Guru Rama, aren't you doing a great sin, by chanting the name of the Lord during this 3-day time? Then Guru Rama replies to Vilvamangalam Swamiyar. She tells him, "Oh Swamigal, maybe, as per the Shastras, maybe it is wrong. But isn't it a greater fallacy or greater sin if I die at this moment and I am not chanting the Narayana Namam? If I leave this body without the Narayana Namam on my tongue, in my last breath, will I ever get Sadgati? Will I ever reach the Lord? I will not. And what is the assurance that I will not die now? I could die anytime. So I don't want the Namam, I don't want the Narayana Namam to leave my tongue even for a moment. I want to constantly remain in that Nama. So it doesn't matter to me what the day is or what the period is. Auspicious, inauspicious, I don't care. For me, Narayana is constant. And that is exactly what in this shlokam that you see, Gurunathan Tunasaiga Santadam Tirunamangal Navin Mel Eppozhum Periyadirikanam Nammude Narajanmam Sapalam Akiduvan. It should never leave my tongue. It should never get separated from my tongue, these divine names of the Lord. So such was the greatness of Guru Rama. Vilvamangalam Swamiyar is a great saint. So he had the great yogic and spiritual power. And we already saw the interaction between him and Manavedan Maharaja, and through the grace of the Vilvamangalam Swamiyar, Manavedan Maharaja getting the darshanam of the Lord. So you find many such anecdotes of Vilvamangalam Swamiyar. If you come to much later times, you had the great Upanyasakarta, Sengalipuram Anantarama Dikshitar. We already saw the greatness of him. And after getting cured of his leprosy because of the chanting of the Narayaniyam daily for a year, he became one of the greatest bhaktas of the Lord. And in every Upanyasam of Anantarama Dikshitar, it is said that he used to always end with the glory to Guruvāyūrappan and praising the Lord and spreading the Mahatmyam of the Lord. The other great Upanyasakarta was Anyam Madhavan Nambudiri, who used to do Bhagavata Saptahams. And he also spread the name of the Lord far and wide, always chanting the name of the Lord. Even today, if you go very close to the temple, is the place where Anyam Nambudiri lived, and also the Krishna. Anyam Nambudiri is said to have brought the Krishna that was worshipped by Poondanam. The Krishna Vigraham that was worshipped by Poondanam is said to have brought that Krishna Vigraham, and he is placed at that place very close to the temple, and the pujas and other things are done at that place to that Vigraham. It's a very beautiful small Vigraham that you can see there of Krishna. So Anyam Madhava Nambudiri, another great minstrel of the Lord, and the great Sangeeta Vidwan, Chambai Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar. Of course, his musical talents were beyond comparison. But right from his childhood, even when he was a child, his father brought him to Guruvāyūr and he surrendered himself at the feet of the Lord. But in between, there was a time. He thought, even from birth, he had a very special affection to the Lord. Because even in Chembai, in his hometown in Chembai also, the Lord, there is Parthasarathi, is Krishna, is the village deity of Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar. So he had a great affection towards Lord Krishna. And when, even as a child, when he was brought to Guruvāyūr by his father, at that time itself the connect with the Lord was established. In between, there was one instance where Bhagavatar lost his voice completely. And in his own words, you must also see this documentary that is there in YouTube of Chembai Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar, where in his own words he has narrated that incident, where he says that during one of the Deeparadhana days, he was standing in front of the Lord with the complete voice completely gone. But he was saying that I was shouting. In my mind, I was shouting Narayana, Narayana. I was continuously shouting, but nobody could hear because the voice, the vocal cords are gone. Nothing is coming out. And everywhere there is Ashtapadi being sung, there is Edaka being played, there is bells ringing, people are chanting Narayana all across. It is in that ecstatic moment. He is also shouting Narayana, but nobody can hear it. At that time, he is in the desperate state. He is praying to the Lord. He is asking the Lord that, have you kept me in such a way that, forget singing. If I'm not able to sing about you, is fine. I'm not able to even say your name. Even if I say Narayana, it is not coming out. Have you kept me in such a state? When he is praying to the Lord, a Vaidyan, a doctor, Ayurvedic doctor, he touches. He is behind Chembai Vaidyana Bhagavatar and he touches Bhagavatar and he says, let me give a try. Let me give a try on you. Let me try something on you. And then he takes Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar and he treats Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar for many days. And after that, Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar resumed. He regains his voice. And it becomes even more finer than it was before. And it is said that every year, the Udayastamana Puja that happens in Guruvāyūr used to be sponsored by the Bhagavatar. He used to sponsor the Udayastamana Puja for many, many years, was sponsored only by the Bhagavatar. And all the money that he used to get, most of the money, majority of the fees and the amounts that he used to get for different music concerts, he used to dedicate it to the Lord. And even during his final days, when he had grown really old, his body was not keeping well, he had prayed to the Lord, oh Lord, please take me. No, now I'm not able to manage with his body. And as he was singing, while he was singing itself, he merged with the Lord. So that is the greatness of Chembai Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar, another great minstrel of the Lord. And it is in his memory that Chembai Sangeet Utsavam is celebrated in Guruvāyūr, in memory of this great musician, devotee of the Lord. See, these are great fortune that very few people get. Like, even in the world of music, there are so many great Vagayakaras. But what is the greatness of Tyagaraja Swamigal? That the whole world celebrates him. The whole world comes for his Aradhana and celebrates him. What was the greatness of that Tyagaraja Swami? It was not only the music, it was the bhakti. Same is what you can apply to Chembai Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar. There were great musicians at his time, maybe better musicians also. But it was not the music that mattered to the Lord. It was the bhakti, the devotee, the devotion of the devotee that mattered to him. So with all this, I hope all of you have been able to get at least a glimpse of the greatness of Guruvāyūr and the Lord, Guruvāyūrappan. We will continue our Kṣetrāṭanam series. We now bid adieu to Guruvāyūr and to the Lord with the hope that we will revisit him very soon and his grace be on all of us all the time. We continue our Kṣetrāṭanam series onto another temple in our next session. Till then, Namaskaram.